All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we have a Toronto Raptors hot take video. It's not even a hot take video. We're just going to talk about a couple of different things. We're going to talk about a couple of different players on the Raptors roster, where I think that they will fall in the postseason, and it's all because of a comment I got from a hot take. So I said, send some Raptors hot takes in, and we got Scottie Barnes will win Rookie of the Year, and the Raptors will be, I think it was like 5 to 6 seed. So I wanted to make a Raptors hot take video for you guys, but only one person gave me a Raptors hot take. So drop some Raptors hot takes down below in the comment section. So for next episode, we have plenty to dive into, but this is a good one. I really like this one. Evan Mobley's injured for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks. Scottie Barnes is currently right now number 1 in the Rookie of the Year rookie ladder. Personally, I look at the top couple of rookies. I'd really only be concerned with Evan Mobley and Cade Cunningham. I think that's about it. I don't know if Cade Cunningham is going to... The thing Scottie Barnes has over Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, etc., is Scottie Barnes is actually leading their team to these victories. And that, I guess Toronto right now is 7-8, and that isn't great. That rhymed. But they will be a playoff team, and they will make the playoffs. I still think that they'll get the 5 seed. Which would be a very successful season. And if Scottie Barnes is helping contribute to that 5 seed and he's putting up similar statistics to what he is right now, he's putting up literally more than 16 and more than 8 rebounds right now. So I think Evan Mobley, Cade Cunningham, they're both very talented basketball players. The only thing is Evan Mobley's got an injury. The Pistons, I don't think that they're going to be able... I just think that season's going to be a little bit rocky. They're still trying to figure out some things, figure out some players on the roster. Killian Hayes has only played 30 or so games, 40 or so games now, so they're still a work in progress. I look at this Raptors team, and I think that they're a little bit more, more efficient. I just think that they're the best team out of any of the guys that have one of the top rookies that would be in the Rookie of the Year race. Before we go any further into this video, guys, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. We're still trying to hit 9,000 subs by the end of the month. I think there's 65 left now. We're 65 away, so really appreciate every like, every comment, every subscription. I want to talk about some of the team leaders on the Raptors and go from there. You got OG leading it with points per game at 20.1. You have Precious Achiuwa with rebounds at 8.7. Freddie, 7.1 assists. Gary Trent Jr., 2.5 steals per game. And the blocks really surprised me. Chris Boucher is leading them in blocks at 0.8 per game. So the hot take originally was the Raptors are a 5 to 6 seed. And I fully agree with that. They have some things they need to figure out. If the Raptors didn't adjust their roster one bit and rolled with this team until the end, I think that they would fall under somewhere between 6 to 8. I think that they'd be somewhere between a 6 to 8 seed if they continue playing how they've been playing this season with and without Pascal Siakam. My preseason prediction for the Raptors was the 5th seed. I have them making it to the second round and advancing, beating the Brooklyn Nets in the first round of the playoffs. I still think that's going to happen. I still think that Toronto will maybe not easily make the playoffs because the Eastern Conference is a little tight, but I think that they'll comfortably make the playoffs this season. And their success is going to have a lot to do with a lot of different things. First off, I look at a guy like Gary Trent Jr., who's averaging 2.5 steals per game. We actually have his straight up stats right here. 16 points per game and about 3.5 rebounds. Shooting splits are pretty solid, shooting above 37, 38% from downtown on the year, pretty steadily averaging that. Gary Trent Jr. is averaging 2.5 assists per game. Get that through your mind. How is Gary Trent Jr. averaging 2.5 steals per game? We've played 15 games. Every team has pretty much played 15 games in the season, so we are not great at math, but we're at least 10% of the way done with the season. Guys like Gary Trent Jr. are vital for the long-term success this season for the Raptors unit. Because if you're having guys like Gary Trent Jr. break out, I know the points isn't a breakout, 16, but who's going to complain with 16 points per game? Who's really going to complain with 3.5 rebounds from Gary Trent Jr.? The real breakout's on the defensive end. If he can continue this consistency, which he's pretty much demonstrated in the last 2 years ever since the bubble offensively, so I think he's chilling in that category. But defensively, what he's showing me is he can hold his own, he can play on-ball defense, he can play off-ball defense, he can get in the passing lanes. Now, is he an elite defender? Absolutely not, but the potential he could possibly get there. Defense you can improve. That's one of the things you can definitely improve on a season-to-season basis, and that's what Gary Trent Jr. is demonstrating. So if they continue to get this type of defensive production and offensive production, it's going to make everyone else on the Raptors' jobs a lot easier because you're having guys like this just break out. Another player I want to pinpoint is Ogn and Obi. He's averaging, we have it right here, 20 points per game, 5.4 rebounds, a steal and a half, 2.7 assists. His shooting splits are 43 from the field and 36 from downtown. So I think a lot of this Ogn and Obi, he had a good game the other day. He had a good game in the last loss. With OG, he's coming into his own this season, and I know his touches have been slightly down at times with Pascal Siakam being back, so have Scotty Barnes, and that might be something to, at the very least, monitor in the next couple of games to see, is Nick Nurse going to try and incorporate OG a little bit more since his touches have been down since the return of Pascal. Same thing goes with Scotty Barnes, but I think a lot of this season does revolve around OG. Obviously, it revolves around Pascal and Freddie and the whole roster, but if OG can continue, because he's averaging 20 right now on pretty inefficient shooting for his standards, I think Ogn and Obi ends this last game he shot 6 of 10 from downtown. I think Ogn and Obi ends the season shooting about 40% from downtown at the very least. I know for a fact he's going to get his field goal percentage up as well. So if Ogn and Obi gets that point total to 22, 23 points per game, you're getting good production. You're getting 20 and 7 from Fred VanVleet. You're getting, what's Pascal averaging in his 4 games? 17, 7, and 4. The more these guys play together, the more the season goes on. I know they've gotten a couple of horrible looking losses in the last couple of games, but that's part of the growing pains. That's part of what you got to go through. And so if you're having guys like Gary Trent Jr. step up, if you're having guys like Ogn and Obi step up, and you're getting this consistent production from Freddie, you're getting consistent production from Pascal, the rest of your team, you're in a very good spot. So I look at the Raptors where they're 7-8 right now. I see a little bit of panic on my Twitter timeline from Raptors fans, or just, it's more from non-Raptors fans. It's more non-Raptors fans coming onto my videos and being like, see, they're not a good basketball team. Like, I told you so. It's like, I strongly disagree with that statement. Their defense will hold them into just about every basketball game, and their offense, it's coming together on a week-to-week, game-by-game basis. It's only improving, and it's only going to improve. So the more that Nick Nurse tweaks these rotations, figures out who meshes with who, maybe hopefully he stops playing these starters 42 minutes a night, and he can get the bench mob in here to help produce. I had a huge issue with that in the last game, but other than that, it's been pretty okay. 7-8. Tough little stretch right now. You're on a road trip as well, but got to start picking up some wins here to make sure it doesn't get too out of hand, because you are pretty much healthy right now. So that's it for today, guys. Hit the like button, hit that sub button, drop comments down below on what you think the Raptors will finish this season. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.